the shooting happened, she said everything seemed fine and there was no indication something was wrong. Police also interviewed Dustin's two classmates, who we called.
What's up, everybody? This is Get to Know. I hope you guys are good. I hope you guys had a great day today. Well, most of you anyway. Um, Give me just a minute and we'll get going with this. All right. About 30 more seconds. Oh wait. This is FBI Friday. I'm trying to get my schedule back on track here. There's things in my life kind of wind down, so that's always good. A member of violent 764 terror network sentenced to 30 years in prison for sexually exploiting a child. Thursday, November 7th, 2024, for immediate release. Office of Public Affairs. Richard Anthony Ryan Densmore, 47, of Caliva, Michigan, was sentenced to 30 years in prison for sexually exploiting a child. Densmore pleaded guilty to sexual exploitation of a child, part of a border indictment that charged him with other child exploitation offenses. Richard Densmore will spend the next 30 years in federal prison for sexually exploiting a child and for his role in creating 764's online network that coerced children into recording themselves engaging in self-harm, sexually explicit acts, and violence, said Attorney General Merrick B. Garland. No child should have to experience this heinous abuse. The Justice Department will ensure that criminals engaged in this depraved conduct are held accountable in a court of law. This defendant orchestrated a community to target children through online gaming sites and used exploitation and blackmail to force his minor victims to record themselves committing acts of self-harm and violence, said FBI Director Christopher Wray. If you prey on children online, you can't hide behind a keyboard. The FBI will use all our resources and authorities to arrest you and hold you accountable. This case represents a new and depraved threat against our children and our communities. Violent online extremists who manipulate their minor victims to commit self-harm and create sexually explicit images, said U.S. Attorney Mark Totten for the Western District of Michigan. While we always fight to hold criminals like Richard Densmore accountable, we want to prevent this crime as much as possible. Parents, please talk with your children about this threat. Monitor their social media use and let them know they can always come to you if they mess up. Densmore is a member of the 764, a network of violent extremists who seek to normalize the production, sharing, and possession of child pornography and gore material to desensitize and corrupt youth towards future acts of violence. Members of 764 gain notoriety by systematically targeting, grooming, and extorting victims through online social media platforms. Members demand the victims to engage in and share media of self-mutilation, sexual acts, harm to animals, acts of random violence, suicide, and murder, all for the purpose of accelerating chaos and disrupting society and the world order. Densmore, known as Rabid, became notorious in the 764's network of creating online sewer communities on Discord, where members recruited children, including by infiltrating online gaming sites that children frequent, to cut themselves and engage in graphic sexual acts. Densmore boosted membership in sewer by advertising live streams of children engaging in self mutilation, cut shows, and sexual explicit activity on cam. He threatened victims to cut themselves. He threatened victims to cut themselves by telling them, I have all your information. I own you. You do want you do what I say now, kitten." Ooh, what a fucking motherfucker. Densmore kept child pornography and bloody images of rabid, sewer, and 764 carved into victims' limbs, in some cases with razor blades and box cutters nearby. Densmore also sexually exploited children. In October 2022, Densmore unsuccessfully tried to persuade a minor girl, Jane Doe, to send him an explicit picture of with "rabid" written on her bare chest. When she expressed discomfort with that request, Densmore contacted another Discord user and paid him Nitro, a form of Discord currency, to help secure a sexually explicit picture of Jane Doe. Densmore's efforts were successful, and Jane Doe, at the request of the other Discord user, sent Densmore and the user a nude video of herself with "rabid" written on her chest. The Justice Department and FBI reminds parents and caregivers to understand and monitor their children's online activities. They should also look for unexpected packages, as members of these abuse and extortion networks are known to send children razor blades, sexual devices, gifts, and other material to use in creating online content. The FBI further advised the public to take a number of precautionary steps, including: 1, looking for fresh cuts, bruises, wounds, and scars on unusual patterns. 2, looking for sudden behaviors and appearance changes. 3, being attentive to children wearing loose, long sleeves or pants in unusual circumstances. 4, monitoring children's online activity and discussing the risks and sharing information and content. And 5, running frequent online searches of family and children's information to help identify and prevent the spread of personal information on the internet. If you are worried about someone who might be self-harming or is at risk of suicide, please consult a healthcare professional or call 911 in an event of an immediate threat. Holy shit. What a pig, dude. What a pig. I don't understand why, if they knew he was doing this in 2022, why the fuck did they take so long to arrest him? Wow. Assistant Attorney General Matthew G. Olson delivers remarks on 30-year prison sentence for a member of Terror Network 764. Washington, D.C., United States. So I'm going to expand into this one a little bit more. What's up, Oilers fan? Assistant Attorney General Matthew G. Olson delivers remarks on 30-year prison sentence for a member of Terror Network 764. For protecting Americans from terrorism and violent extremist threats. Every day we work with our partners to investigate, disrupt, and prosecute terrorists and violent extremists who seek to promote violence and violate the law. I am here representing NSD today because the defendant in this case, Richard Densmore, is a member of a dangerous network of violent extremists known as 764. This group seeks to do unspeakable harm to children to advance their goals of destroying civilized society, fomenting civil unrest, and ultimately collapsing the U.S. government. 764 is an online network of individuals who seek to normalize and weaponize the possession, production, and distribution of child sexual abuse material and other types of graphic and violent material. In service of their violent ideologies, the 764 network extorts young victims into recording or live streaming acts of self-harm. The members often share these materials among themselves to further victimize children. The groups control their victims through extreme fear. Many members have an end goal of forcing their victims to commit suicide on live streams for the 764 network's entertainment, or for the perpetrator's own sense of fame within the 764 network. It is difficult to even comprehend such shocking and inhumane violence targeted at innocent and vulnerable children. But we cannot look away. The FBI has previously warned the public about 764 and other violent online groups who deliberately target children on publicly available platforms, including popular messaging, gaming, and social media platforms. These groups often target young people struggling with mental health issues. As alleged, the defendant in this case, Richard Densmore, ran chat rooms and Discord servers to facilitate the exchange of child sexual abuse material, helping to create forums where other online perpetrators could find children. His actions targeted and exploited minor victims. He forced children to cut themselves and produce graphic material. Now, he is being held accountable for his crimes. Today's sentence of 30 years in prison underscores the Department of Justice's commitment to stopping acts of terrorism and disrupting the online groups who engage in this aberrant behavior. And they show our resolve, to bring every available tool to bear in countering these threats. I want to thank U.S. Attorney Mark Toten and his team in the Western District of Michigan, as well as NSD's Counterterrorism Section. I would also like to thank the FBI Field Office and Domestic Terrorism Operations Section for their hard work in disrupting this dangerous online network. Wow. What a fucking crazy deal, dude.
It's getting bad.
Wow. And it all comes from them trying to normalize the behavior, dude.
And making money.
Yep. Repeat sex offender found guilty of possession of child pornography by federal jury. Monday, November 4th, 2024, for immediate release, U.S. Attorney's Office, District of Utah. Salt Lake City, Utah. A federal jury in Salt Lake City returned a guilty verdict against a repeat sex offender for the possession of child sexual abuse material. Daniel David Edgley, 50, of South Jordan, Utah, was indicted for possession of child pornography by the federal grand jury in June of 2022. According to court documents and evidence presented at trial, Edgley's was first convicted of possession of child sexual abuse material in 2004, and then again in 2010. In addition, he has had several violations of conditions of his supervised release. Most recently, in the spring of 2021, while Edgley was serving another term of federal supervision, he again violated his conditions of release. During a routine check by his probation officer, law enforcement found Edgley possessed an unauthorized laptop and smartphone. These unauthorized devices were seized, along with other unauthorized electronic devices. Subsequently, in May 2021, a warrant was issued for Edgley's arrest, and he was taken into custody. A search of his residence at that time revealed additional unauthorized electronic devices. Further investigation by the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Intermountain West Regional Computer Forensic Lab of the electronic evidence demonstrated that Edgley had accessed, viewed, and possessed nearly 500 images of child sexual abuse material, which led to the June 2022 federal charge. Edgley's sentencing is scheduled for February 27, 2025 at 1 p.m. at the Orion G. Hatch United States District Courthouse in downtown Salt Lake City. The United States Attorney Trina A. Higgins of the District of Utah made the announcement. This case is being investigated by FBI Salt Lake City Field Office. The United States Attorney's Office for the District of Utah is prosecuting the case. I'll keep my eye on that one. What, is that too heavy for you guys? Shit.
Oops.
Jacksonville medical records technician sentenced to 35 years for sexually exploiting numerous children online. Monday, November 4th, 2024, for immediate release, U.S. Attorney's Office, Middle District of Florida. Jacksonville, Florida, Chief United States District Judge Timothy A. Corrigan has sentenced Aaron Caleb Ellis, 27, Jacksonville, to 35 years in federal prison for producing and distributing videos depicting children being sexually abused. Ellis was also ordered to serve a lifetime term of supervised release and to register as a sex offender. Ellis was arrested on August 29, 2022, and has been in federal custody since that date. On February 28, 2024, Ellis pled guilty to persuading and coercing a child to engage in producing visual depictions of sexual explicit conduct and distributing a video depicting the child being sexually abused. According to court documents from January 2018 through August 29, 2022, Ellis was an active member of several online groups on social media applications dedicated to the sexual exploitation of children and the sharing of child sexual abuse material. Ellis and other members of this group conspired and worked together to locate and sexually exploit minors across a variety of online social media platforms. During online text conversations, Ellis and other members discussed and strategized on how to persuade, pressure, and coerce targeted children into producing sexually explicit photos and videos and engage in sexually explicit conduct live on social media apps. Ellis and other members also exchanged information about the identity of children who had an online presence, such as the minors' names, ages, locations, and other online user identifiers. Ellis told other group members that he preferred targeting female children who were 8 to 11 years old. Posing his minor children, Ellis and other members persuaded and coerced the targeted children to engage in sexually explicit conduct and to live stream the conduct that Ellis and his co-conspirators would covertly record. When Ellis and the other members obtained the sexual explicit recordings, they shared these materials through online group chats and other cloud-based file storage apps and websites. Ellis developed and used certain recording tools to capture live streaming content over the internet that depicted the targeted children engaging in sexual acts. These tools allowed Ellis to simultaneously record multiple streaming video feeds from different children, and he shared these tools with other members for their use. Ellis used a variety of social media apps to communicate with the targeted minors across the United States and portrayed himself as a 10 or 11-year-old female child named Nova from Florida. Ellis initially sent the targeted child sexually explicit photos and videos depicting an actual minor female that he was pretending to be and asked the child to be his girlfriend. After gaining some measure of trust, he then asked the child to send him sexually explicit photos and videos and recorded the child as she live streamed sexual explicit conduct at his direction. Ellis also threatened some of the targeted children who refused to provide him with sexually explicit materials. Ellis and other group members also collaborated to hack into baby monitors, nanny cameras, and other internet-enabled cameras within private residences. The co-conspirators periodically provided Ellis with internal protocol addresses, which he developed his own computer code to remotely hack into these devices, allowing him to capture streaming video from compromised baby monitors. During this investigation, the FBI executed multiple search warrants and seized the contents of the accounts used by Ellis and other group members. That content combined with the evidence recovered from Ellis's electronic devices revealed that Ellis potentially targeted thousands of minor children online for online sexual exploitation. On August 29, 2022, law enforcement executed the federal search warrant at Ellis's residence and seized his computers and electronic devices, several of which were encrypted. Forensic forensic examination of one of Ellis's cell phones revealed that he used a particular online app to send 2 videos of child sexual abuse to a co-conspirator just hours before FBI agents arrived at his residence. In total, the FBI recovered at least 1,700 photos and 700 videos depicting children engaged in sexually explicit conduct that Ellis maintained on his electronic devices and in his online social media accounts. Many of these materials depict young children, some as young as 6 years old. What's up, Brandon? What's up, Mom? Holy shit, man. You guys, we seriously got to start cracking down on shit, man.
What? I know.
How old are you, Brandon? Mom, can you check his account, please? I don't need any minor children here, man. So let's see, he was how old? 27. So 27 to 35 is what? 7 and 5, or 8 and 5 is 13. So that's 12 to carry the 1. 50, 60, 61. He's 61 by the time he gets out. Fucking piece of shit. All right, cool. That's cool then. Thanks for stopping by, Brandon. I appreciate it. That's cool. I just talk about some heavy subjects on here, so I really can't have kids around here, you know. With a name like Brandon Looney Tunes Fan 2000, it kind of, you know, makes me think you might be, you know. It's all good. I'm a Looney Tunes fan too, so, you know. Oh, I covered this guy. Okay, I covered this guy a while back. Registered sex offender sentenced to over 19 years imprisonment. Friday, November 1st, 2024. For immediate release, U.S. Attorney's Office, Western District of Tennessee. Jackson, Tennessee, a registered sex offender from Missouri was recently sentenced to prison. Reagan Fondren, acting United States Attorney for the Western District of Tennessee, announced the sentence on the 1st. According to the information presented in court, Jason Lance Luther, 32, met a minor child residing in Dyersburg, Tennessee, at a holiday event in December 2022. Luther and the minor child exchanged phone numbers and shortly thereafter began texting one another. In January 2023, the minor child's parents uncovered a message and reported it to the police. The investigation revealed over 1,200 pages of messages between Luther and the minor child. Many of the texts were sexually explicit. On August 13, 2024, Luther pled guilty to knowingly enticing a minor to engage in any sexual activity for which a person can be charged. United States District Judge S. Thompson Anderson sentenced Luther to 235 months in federal prison, followed by 10 years of supervised release. There is no parole in the federal system. We are committed to protecting all citizens of this district, but most importantly, the young and vulnerable, said acting United States Attorney Fondren. This sentence is a reflection of the seriousness of this offense, and we will continue to work to ensure the dangerous perpetrators see justice. Well, that's good. I was wondering what he got. Hi, James. Hardy Dad, will you want to drop your live stream link in the chat? Or you know what I mean? So we can share it out there. Yeah, let's read about this one. This is what I like to hear. They're going to bury this fucking dude under the prison. Registered sex offender sentenced to a total of 82 years for third conviction for sex crimes against a child. Friday, November 1st, 2024, for immediate release, United States Attorney, Western District of Tennessee. Covington man was convicted in July for production of child pornography, possession of child pornography, and violation of the Sex Offender Registration and Notification Act. Yes, I remember reading this one too. He nailed his ass to the wall. Yeah, they did. They nailed it good. Memphis, Tennessee, Jared Sanford, 43, was sentenced to 82 years imprisonment after a federal jury convicted him of production of child pornography, possession of child pornography, and committing a felony sexual offense against a minor while required to register as a sex offender. Reagan Fondren, acting United States Attorney for the Western District of Tennessee, announced the sentence on the 1st. This is Sanford's third conviction for sexual offenses against children. He has previously been convicted of sexual battery in Crockett County, Tennessee, for his participation in the rape of a 15-year-old child and of transporting an individual for prostitution in federal court in the Central District of Illinois for the sex trafficking of another 15-year-old child. Because of those earlier convictions, Sanford was required to register as a sex offender in the state of Tennessee and to comply with the requirements of the Sex Offender Registration and Notification Act, or SORNA. In addition, Sanford was placed on lifetime federal supervised release. Sanford committed these new crimes despite those protections. According to information presented during Sanford's July trial, on November 19, 2023, deputies with the Tipton County Sheriff's Office responded to a report that Sanford had raped a 13-year-old child. Sanford's DNA matched DNA samples taken from the child's victim. While investigating the rape, TCSO deputies recovered a phone from Sanford's residence. Agents with the FBI Violent Crimes Against Children Task Force were able to bypass the phone's encryption and discovered photographs that Sanford had taken between July and November of 2023, showing himself raping the same child. Motherfucker. A federal grand jury indicted Sanford for the child pornography and registry offenses in February 2024. On July 25th, after a 4-day trial, federal jurors convicted Sanford as charged. On October 31st, United States District Judge Thomas L. Parker sentenced Sanford to 70 years for the child pornography offenses and a mandatory consecutive 10 years for the SORNA violation and an additional 2 years for violation of the supervised release, for a total of 82 years imprisonment. There is no parole in the federal system. Acting U.S. Attorney Fondren said Jared Sanford is a sexual predator whose monstrous crimes caused immeasurable harm to the girls upon whom he preyed. We must all come together to combat this kind of abuse that plagues the very foundation of our society. This prosecution, achieved through the collaboration work between the U.S. Attorney's Office and multiple law enforcement partners, is essential to bringing justice to the survivor of this depraved acts and holding Sanford accountable for his actions. Today's sentence should send a message to children, to child predators everywhere. Our children deserve better, and you will suffer severe consequences if you harm them. The victimization of our children tears at the fabric of our community, said Special Agent in Charge Joe Caricio of the FBI Tennessee Memphis resident agency. This sentence will protect other children from harm by this predator and should serve as a warning to like-minded individuals who are considering engaging in similar reprehensible behavior. The FBI will continue to work with our law enforcement partners to target, catch, and bring to justice those who victimize our most vulnerable. Can we get a round of applause? Can we get a round of applause for that? 82 fucking years. What's up, Wanda? What's up, Arctic? What's up? I'm getting ready to get out of here. As a matter of fact, I got another show I'm going to do in a half an hour with Hardy Dad. But I just wanted to try to get back on track with all my shit here, you guys. I know I've been kind of not doing it lately. And I promise I'll change. Let me jump in here real quick. Let me go get Hardy Dad's link since he didn't do it. You should come and join us over at Hardy Dad's or Hardy Dad's. Yeah, Hardy Dad's.
Yeah, you said it right.
Fucking dumb shit. Should all come to Hardy Dad's. Check them out. Quick share. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Copy link. There we go. Okay. I go here and here. Community. Oh, it's already on. It's already on my chat. It's already on my community page. Duh. So yeah, go check out my community page. It's on there. Come join us in a half an hour. Well, a little bit less than a half an hour. But I'm gonna eat something. I'm gonna get out of here. I hope you guys like the new avatar. There's that one and this one. And I got these from my little sister, Midnight Valkyrie. Wrong button, jackass. And this one. Yeah. There we go. So there you go. I thank all you guys for stopping by and saying hi and listening. And 82 years in prison. That's what I'm talking about. We need to see more charges. We need to see more sentences like that when it comes to these motherfuckers, man. For real. This is G2K. I'm out of here. Two things. Number one, try to love one another right now because we might not get a chance to do so tomorrow. In fact, there's some of us right here today that won't be here, that won't be able to do that tomorrow because we will no longer be here. Number two, tell your friends about me because you're going to want to know. Get to know. Later.